Hey everyone, it's us, and this is, I believe, the final patch of Season 11. I am joined by none other than the Fudge Factor. If you guys are wondering why I'm looking like Darth Sidious straight out of like a bad nightclub joke, well, I was in the hospital all morning. I had a hematoma removed from my torso and underarm, and honestly, I'm not feeling very well. But let's dive right into this. So, okay, 11:23 Fudge, are you ready? So, into the Arcane, I don't totally know what this is. It's just going over an overview. Objective bounties. Baron and Elder Dragon, 500 gold. Drakes and Riftchild, 500 gold. Outer turret, 250 gold. Inner turret, 400 gold. Base turret, 400 gold. So, my initial thought on objective bounties are that they are kind of fine. One of the things that I like about this, potentially, is that there are team compositions that generally only want to wait until the third dragon anyway. And I wonder if they just end up, like, yoinking an extra bonus now that something like this ends up existing. I'm not opposed to objective bounties. I think that if you're in winning positions and you do manage to lose these types of objectives, I actually think that it makes the game fair. And I also understand that Riot, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to reduce the amount of people who are willing to just AFK or run it down early on into the game because they fall too far behind.
I mean, from my understanding, this just helps scaling comps, basically. I don't think this should be very impactful, honestly, to games. I don't think this is gonna like change games very much, but I mean, it's a small reward, I guess, for getting stuff when you're behind. So I think it's completely fine from Riot.
Yeah, I mean, I just like them, and obviously I'm a huge fan of scaling. Okay, jungle changes. We're introducing 2 new dragons, the Summoner's Rift, complete with new buffs, souls, and terrain effects. The selection rate of Chemtank Rift and Hextech Rift terrains was temporarily doubled during 11:23 only, so you can try out the new map changes and dragon souls more frequently during preseason. I think that's an awesome change by Riot, that they're allowing people to get used to the new changes, actually, more often than other dragons. So, the thing is I already reviewed those in my preseason rundown video that I did elsewhere on my main YouTube channel, and I already gave all of my thoughts. I personally like both of the dragons. What about you?
I've only seen the... Okay, so one of them is a zombie silent, like, soul, right? Is one of the souls?
Yep.
And the other one is like the teleport? Was it? Is it the...
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I actually like that. I also like especially that they're doubling the rate so that people can use it. I think that's extremely good by Riot, actually. Obviously, it's going to like change some games, but maybe people can do some sort of thing with that. I don't think so, but I actually really like the dragons that are Riot, and I like that they're adding more variety. This makes the game a lot more interesting. I think what they should also add is that you can see the soul of what the soul will be in champs. Like that would also be very interesting.
I disagree with that entirely.
Really?
Yes. I don't like
Why
that.
do you think they're too broken?
I don't like that a soul could I don't like that you go up on stage and the soul actually now affects your draft.
Well, I think that puts a lot of pressure on the team to have very good drafting.
Well, I think that...
Skill expression.
Right, but I think there's also skill expression to acknowledge that you could roll any kind of soul, and so you have to account for any of them coming up. You can't draft intentionally towards them.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. I mean, I think it can be argued both
I think
ways.
You can argue either way, right? I think that you can argue either way. I'm in favor of it not being there, but that was interesting. I didn't know that you had that stance. Okay, items. Crown of the Shattered Queen. Okay, so... Wait, what is this? Apparently, maybe the site bugged out. I'm not actually totally sure, so we're going to move on to Evershroud. Tanky supports felt pigeonholed into one mythic, Locket of the Iron Solari, which was purely a defensive tool. We're adding another mythic for those who want to focus more on engaging offensively instead of relying on Locket's anti-burst. Okay. 2,500 gold, Kindle Gem, Aegis of Legion, 300 gold, health 200, ability haste 20, armor 30, matter resist 30. After immobilizing champion or being immobilized, cause that target and all nearby enemies to repent, increasing the damage they take by 12%. Okay, so I've actually reviewed a lot of these items. So rather than just read them all out entirely, let's just sort of go over them. So this is basically making Abyssal Mask into a mythic support item for 2,500 gold. That's obviously going to be really good on engaged supports.
Yeah, this is just going to help CC engage supports a lot. because usually Locket for those engaged supports wasn't really how you play the game. It wasn't really defensive that's helping your team. It's more about getting onto the enemies and doing the most damage bursts. So I think this item will definitely help the Nautilus, Leona, Alice sort of champions, Rel. So yeah, I think it's good.
The things I would say is that, like those champions that you just mentioned, because Locket isn't actually how they play the game, Locket's more of a response item, like, oh, enemy team has Karthus, enemy team has Vladimir. The enemy team has these wombo like these AoE champions, so Locket gains a lot of value, right? They would actually just forego a mythic, and they would rush Abyssal Mask, or they would rush Anathema's Chains. So now this item actually gives them a mythic that they can rush, and it's cheaper. So this is, I think it's just a big upside. Okay, Axiom Arc. Prior to Youmuu's Ghostblade buffs in 11-17, there weren't many options for assassins to pick up ability haste. All right, so this is 55 AD, 25 ability haste. Lethality is only 10, though. When an enemy champion dies within 3 seconds after you've damaged them, it refunds 25% of your ultimate's cooldown. So I think this is probably just a solo Q menace item. And it's really insane on snowballery, like, assassin junglers like Kha'Zix, Kiana, etc. Talon, too.
I mean, this is like a Z item or something.
I think it's solo Q only.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be very effective and competitive, just because the way fights usually are. I mean, is there a world where, like, Zed gets to late game and he has so much CDR that he can actually get 2 ults up in a fight? I don't know. But, oh, actually, this is a thing. Yeah, okay. I guess it works.
Champions,
I guess so. But I assume that it's going to be pretty niche. That there will be scenarios where, like, having the ult refund ult will, like, be really good for competitive. I do think solo though it's going to be pretty good for a lot of, like, the assassins with ultimates that are very, very effective.
Yeah, I can't see any world where, well, maybe I mean, is there, like, lethality Ashe versions of her where maybe she can ult twice in a team fight or something? Maybe that's an actual thing. But I'm trying to think of, like, standard AD carries that really want their ultimate, and the only one that really comes to mind to me is Ashe. So
I mean, it's possible, like, Varus, I guess.
But yeah, but I think to a lesser extent, I don't think he would. I think he would. Well, I guess he does want CDR, right? He does want ability haste, so maybe something like that. But okay. Shadowflame. Offensive options for mages have been quite narrow, especially if those who wanted legendary items to simply deal more damage. Shadowflame should let you blow up your opponents and be extra spicy. Okay, so ability power 100, health is 200. Damage to champions benefit from 10 to 20 magic penetration based on target's current health. Maximum value at 1,000 or less health. Minimum value at 2,500 or more health. Gains the maximum magic penetration if the target was recently affected by shields. So the thing about this is that I think I saw a Reddit thread that suggests or shows that you just go Void Staff anyway. But
this is a legendary, right?
This is a legendary, yeah. So I don't totally know how to feel. The 100 ability power is really, really, really nice. That is really nice. This is going to be an alternative to Void Staff in some spots, right? It's fulfilling its role. It's offering diversity relative to a game state that allows you to pivot if you're actually aware of hitting tab. Clicking on enemy champions, reading their magic resistance, reading what they do. But hey, I mean, if pro players are capable of doing this, maybe Collector would have not been built as much as it was. What are your thoughts on this, Fudge?
Yeah, I think usually with items like this that are niche, it turns into like either no one builds it or like everyone just jumps on like the hype train of like, it's like a Cosmic Drive item where like everyone's buying Cosmic Drive second now or something, and it's like no one's actually thinking that it's buying it no matter what. So it might just turn into an item that like all like the competitive players will start going because it's like popular. I don't know. But honestly, I think the item is just niche. Again, I don't think it's going to be better than Void if they're going to build any. The MR, obviously, it depends on how much MR they're building. And yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see it. I mean, it's hard to tell, I think, a little bit.
All right, Winter's Approach. Tanks who need more mana can struggle during team fights as they slowly grind through their mana bars. So let the spell spamming commence. So I don't know one tank that actually goes Zoom. Even Ornn doesn't actually need tier or anything like it. Like, Ornn does not need mana. So I don't know what this comment by Riot is making. Like, Malphite's another one, doesn't need mana. Sejuani doesn't need mana. I can't think of anyone. Even a Yomuu doesn't actually need mana, even when he goes tank a Yomuu. So it doesn't make any sense. Tear the Goddess, Kindle Gem, Ruby Crystal, 1,000 gold. Health is 400, mana 500. Ability haste 15. Gain bonus health equal to 8% mana. Strike a target with an ability or auto attack to consume a charge and gain 3 bonus mana, doubled, etc. And then this item becomes Fimbul Winter. So this is the alternative to Seraph's Embrace. So you get 400 health, 860 mana, ability has 15, and then same passive. Slowing, melee only, or immobilizing an enemy champion consumes 3% of current mana and grants a shield for 3 seconds, absorbing 100 to 200, plus 5% current mana damage, 8-second cooldown. The shield is increased by 80% if more than one enemy is nearby. So this is a really good item versus team compositions that don't have rapid damage output. Right? Combo-centric enemy team compositions, spellcaster-heavy team compositions, etc., where you can just throw up these shields and constantly keep getting them. Champions like Poppy or Scion or champions of that nature are going to be strong.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't done the math, obviously, on any of this, so I'm not actually sure how much better these items are as second items than, like...
Oh, you know who this is good on? Tark.
Who is it? Yeah, okay. I can see Tark using it.
I could actually see Lane Tark actually utilizing this. Because Tark...
Yeah,
so, I was just running through my head. I was thinking of all of the tanks that actually, does any of them shoot through mana? And then it dawned on me, wait a minute, Tank Tark does.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
This is really big. Because he does immobilize very often.
Yes, he does. So, yeah, I think that's good for Tark for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like Tank Gragas, I guess, but this is like he doesn't really chew through mana. I think mana costs like relatively fine, especially mid game. So.
But it would give him an option.
If you give him an option. Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. All right. We move on. Tank Mythics. Tank Legendaries had a different issue with the MR options felt really light aside from Spirit Visage, so we're heightening the fantasies of other choices like Forge of Nature and Abyssal Mask. Okay. So Frostfire Gauntlet. Basic attacks. Okay, so basic attacks create a frost field that slows enemies. Basic attacks create a frost field for 1.5 seconds that deals 20 to 100 plus 0.5 max health magic damage to all enemies in the area. Enemies that move across the field are slowed. Okay. Obviously that's just better. Just outright.
I mean, it's just straight up better, right? Yeah.
Right. So does this make Senna come back?
Tank Senna?
Yeah, Tank Senna. Does that make Tank Senna come back? I'm not totally sure. Turbo Chemtank refuel. Moving and dealing damage fills up the Chemtank. At 100 stacks, your next basic attack deals 40 to 100 plus 1% max health plus 3% bonus movement speed. Ooh. Magic damage to all nearby enemies increased by 25% against minions and okay. Deals magic Immolate is removed. Ooh. Empowers each of your other legendary items with 5 ability haste and 50 health. I don't know. This seems really niche.
Yeah, this is like Deadman's Plate or what?
Yeah, it seems like a weird version of Deadman's Plate. Which
Interesting.
I can't imagine that you would want that intentionally, especially now that Immolate is removed.
Yeah, the Immolate pass is removed,
yeah.
so...
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is better. I think that might be actually worse, possibly.
Yeah, I think that's actually worse. Sunfire Aegis. Sunfire Aegis is the most expensive tank mythic, yet its stats are a bit underwhelming. We're buffing up its durability to match its cost. Okay, so armor up by 5, MR up by 5. And now empowers each of your other legendary items with 5% slow resist, 5% tenacity, and 50 health. Okay, I mean, it's a joke.
I mean
the 50 health isn't that much of a joke, but it still kind of is a joke, because you get 550 health. Realistically, like late game total from the item. This just seems really, really, really pitiful.
I mean, this is like 200 gold extra or something from like the base stats.
Yeah,
it's like practically. I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's not going to change anything.
It's not going to admit. This isn't going to change why people do or don't build it, which is the whole problem that Riot should be addressing, but they're obviously not. Okay, Abyssal Mask. Last season, Abyssal Mask was powerful for champs who could use the Immobilize effect. Okay, so build path is now changed. Kindle Gem, Spectre's Cowl plus 650. Health is up by 50. Ability Haste now 10. Magic Resist is dramatically down. And Unmate. Curse nearby enemies, reducing their magic resist by 5 plus 1% bonus health. Max 20. For each cursed enemy, gains 7 magic resist. Okay, so that is actually really big. That is like, if you have the support mythic now and then you get Abyssal Mask and you increase damage and then give your mages 20 pen.
Yeah. Yeah, you're giving on the AP champs, but it's actually pretty good, yeah. I think this is like a sounds fun. Sounds interesting. Feels like it's like a Mumu's passive almost, no?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really insane passive. I mean, I can definitely see this being used on a lot of champions. I can see Ornn using this. You know, I mean, because this ultimately is 20 magic penetration. This item comes with 20 magic pen for tanks. Tanks found a way to have magic pen.
Yep.
That's insane. I mean, this is a tank item that offers magic penetration. That is so great. It doesn't say what the range on it is, but honestly, I think this is really, really good for tanks. I think Malphite will love this. Ornn will love this. Leona's going to love it. Taric, we just talked about Taric earlier. Taric's going to love this.
Yeah, all the tank items.
Yeah, with tank items. I mean, Tank Taric might actually be a real thing. Force of Nature. Force of Nature is meant to fill the void Adaptive Helm left behind. Okay, magic resist is up by 10, move speed 5%. Health is unchanged. It's really pitiful. Taking magic damage from enemy champions grants a stack of Steadfast for 5 seconds, 6 of them. Enemy immobilizing effects grant an additional 2 stacks. While at 6 stacks of Steadfast, take 20% reduced magic damage and gain 10% increased movement speed. So yeah, it is just a truly pure anti-mage item.
Anti-mage, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So is this based on? So basically, you gain a stack based on the unique enemy champion, taking magic damage from enemy champions, or is this just from the same champion? You just stack it instantly.
Yeah, you just stack it instant. Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad. I think it's actually pretty good. I mean,
yeah,
all the tanks.
Really
I mean, all these tank items are really, I think, actually helping them.
I think all the tank items are getting really nice buffs, except for that Sunfire Aegis, and then obviously Turbo Chemtank is probably worse. But aside from that, I think everything's good. Knight's Vow. Knight's Vow was unpopular despite being powerful all year. We've returned the ally heal so that pledge feel okay. So health 400, base health regen 300, 150, ability haste unchanged, pledge. Okay, so while your worthy ally is nearby, redirect 10% of the damage they take to you and heal for 8% of the damage they deal to champions. They have less than 30%. The damage reduction is increased to 20%. Okay. I mean, this isn't changing when or why you're building Knight's Vow. So I don't know what Riot's doing.
I'm a bit Papega right now. I'm trying to read this. I'm trying to see what I'm not seeing right now. I mean, this.
So basically, they can heal you now. Your ally can heal you.
Yeah.
Whereas before, they couldn't, because they removed that before.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's it. I mean, it's good.
I mean, it's not bad, but...
You're not rushing Knight's Vow, is what... Yeah, right, it's a weak change, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Aegis of the Legion is down by 100 gold. This, honestly, I don't know how you feel, this is the worst recipe item to build into.
Oh, yeah, it might be.
I think this is insufferably bad.
I mean, I think Leeching Lair is possibly worse, but...
What do you mean? All the Gwens build it.
Leeching Lair is good or what?
Bad. You know what? Like, yeah, but Leeching Lair is 1300. This thing was
15. I mean, this one was 15. And also it supports, so it's like even worse.
Right.
All the supports are buying 2 pink wards every base as well, so it's even worse.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. I mean, you gotta buy 2 pinks every back, Fudge. Every back. Regardless of context of the game state.
Yeah, vision control.
Yeah, vision control, no doubt. Gargoyle Stoneplate down by 100 gold, and Locket of the Iron Solari up by 100 gold. Total cost unchanged. I mean, that's fine. Mage item trusted have been pretty limited this season, especially for AP bruises and some battle mages, so we're making a few options less generic, okay? Demonic Embrace. Ability power is down by 10. Health is up by 100. Azakana's Gaze. Dealing ability damage burns enemies for 2% melee, 1.2% ranged. Max health damage every second for 4 seconds. No longer grants bonus resistances while enemies burn. Gain 2% of your bonus health as ability power. Okay, so...
Like a item?
Well, yeah, it's a Vladimir item, and also it's a Malzahar item. So these are Malzahar items on steroids, but you gotta get through all the items to see why. So basically, Malzahar is gonna have a ton of HP, and he's just gonna be burning you for a lot of damage. Basically, any dot champions that utilize Demonic Embrace and Leandries are getting buffed by the changes that they're about to do. So it's a Vladimir item. You could argue that it's a singed item for sure. As another one.
Yep.
I don't think that tanks are going to build this item to convert bonus health to ability power. However, Cho'Gath maybe could.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he gets so much bonus
Yeah, because he
health.
gets so much bonus health. I
And
mean,
he has
this
such
looks...
insane AP ratios.
Yeah,
Probably not bad on Cho for like 4th, 5th item.
Maybe if a single pro player plays Cho'Gath, dude, like not a single pro player playing Cho'Gath anyway, bro. Like we're not seeing that champion.
Well, Fudge Factor, I saw the roster leaks or the rumors by Travis Gafford, one of the most handsome people, also, primary host to Hotline League. And I saw that you might be playing mid lane next split, so I think that you might be playing Cho'Gath at some point.
Oh, you got that idea, buddy. I'm gonna be playing some TF and Gallia.
Gonna be playing Cho'Gath. Alright, so we move on. Archangel's Staff. 3,000 Gauss, total unchanged. Ability power is down by 5. Health, 200. Mana, 500 unchanged. Gain ability haste equals 0.5% bonus mana, rather than gain ability power, grants ability power equal to 3% bonus mana. So you're losing ability power, you're gaining health, but you're getting ability haste.
Yeah. Is this better? I'm not actually sure if this is better. I don't know exactly how much ability haste you're getting.
Just makes you spam your abilities. So the reason that people build it, right, is to well, I think for Orianna this is a buff. She doesn't have the best AP ratios, but she does want to keep spamming her balls.
Yeah, with her E as well.
Yeah, she does want to be moving her balls around a lot. I mean, that's really the primary thing that she's good at.
Thank you for reiterating the balls, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
she can, yeah. I mean, she commands that stuff like clockwork, you know? Bit of an expert.
Okay, buddy.
I mean, another champion that uses Archangels and Seraph's Embrace, right, for like mana and then just having it as an AP stat check is like Cinder, right? And Cinder's really proficient with her balls as well.
It's an L from me. That's all I'm going to say. Just move on. It's an L. It's an absolute L.
All right.
Cosmic Drive. We love Cosmic Drive here. Yes.
Cosmic Drive was a strong... so you take this one, Fudge. Go ahead.
Cosmic Drive was strong throughout the season, but not very exciting. We're amping up the fantasy of this move fast, cast fast item and making its passive available way sooner. Okay, so now they are changing the recipe a little bit. Ability power down 5, 50 health up. Ability haste is up by 10% with adding 5% move speed. They're changing it so damaging a champion with 3 separate attacks or spells gains 20% move speed and 40 ability power until leaving combat. Which is actually a buff, I think. I think this is all a buff.
Well, not every champion's going to use this now. So champions that were like Zoe or something is not going to use this anymore. Because you're not going to damage them with 3 separate attacks.
3 separate attacks, yeah. I mean, this is obviously, yeah, it's more niche now.
It's way more niche now. So they've removed this from like the mages that were just abusing it, like LeBlanc and Zoe.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've made it more for actual utility mages or something of that nature.
Yeah, it's Orianna, Syndra.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Okay. Horizon Focus was a pretty niche glass cannon item that essentially gave long-range mages a lot of bonus damage, broadening its use so that more champions feel happy picking it up. Okay, so ability power 115 to 85, total gold unchanged, health 150, so it has health added to it. Now remember the thing I said about Malzahar. Ability haste 15. Now Horizon Focus passive Hypershot applies on slows. What does Malzahar build? Rylai's. So now he gets Hypershot. So basically any dot users with Liandry's that are going to go Horizon Focus, Liandry's, Demonic Embrace with Rylai's. I mean, this is like right? with Void Staff capping
this
it
is the 4th item, yeah. Yeah, this is like a 4th item.
Yep.
Now
it's a 4th item on certain champions.
Yep.
So this is, it's pretty nuts, obviously. So I think it's really good on all dot champions that actually have Rylai's. Any Rylai's user is now going to build this item outright. Users that don't have Rylai's, I'm not totally sure if they're gonna, magically start building Horizon Focus. Actually, the opposite is probably true. If you don't build Rylai's, you're probably not building this item.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, maybe like, dude, Ash is building this item.
Ooh. Yeah. What, AP support Ash
I don't know,
or
dude.
something? I don't know.
I just threw out a champion
I
that
made a
slows the
joke.
low.
Yeah. Okay, Void Staff. Ooh, Void Staff is very powerful, but generic purchase for amping up your AP and melting through MR. We're shifting its power to magic. Okay, so it's up by 100 gold, and AP down by 5, but magic penetration up by 5%. I think this is fine.
Yeah, I mean,
good.
it's still gonna be good.
I'll take this. I'll take this.
There's
This is
also
fine.
hurts tanks, I guess. That build a lot of magic resist,
Yes.
so I guess that's sort of hurting the tanks that they're like buffing this patch at the
Yep.
same time. But
Yep.
yeah, maybe they feel like it's gonna be too big of buffs. I don't know. I don't know exactly.
Okay, Doran's ring. Take it away.
Okay, so they made it so restoring a 0.75 mana every second. So now you don't actually have to kill CS. They're helping out the bronze players in here. Damaging an enemy champion increases this amount to 1.25 mana every second for 10 seconds. If you can't gain mana, restore 50% of the value as health. So this is just like an item for trading, basically.
Yeah, but this is well, no, wait a minute. So you
it's actually
so
worse,
you get 0.33 HP every second now, almost, right? Or 0.37
Yeah.
HP every second
Yes.
for the Mordekaiser Rumble users or Kennen.
I mean, this is if yeah, I guess.
So now this lets them turn their offensive like Doran's Ring purchase for like lane sustain even more offensive without having to go D-shield. That's really gross.
Well, I mean, I'd actually like to see how big of a change this is compared to like if you're lost hitting minions constantly, because you're getting health as well if you're just lost hitting minions constantly. So like, you gain like 18 health
Maybe
on a wave.
Chovy.
Yeah, if you CS every minion, it might actually have nerf Chovy, yeah. But it helps like me, you know.
Yeah, you and Lock-in probably you're getting buffed by this.
Yeah, that was actually helping me out a little bit.
Yeah, you got Lock-in on the aforementioned mid lane rumors in 2 months, so this is probably helping you out. Probably going down 30 CS to Jojo Pion in mid lane. Probably.
Fuck, I should retire if that happens.
Maybe you're gonna drop 40 or 50 to a Blaze Olive. What's going on there?
Yeah, Blaze Olive, the NA talent might actually go.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't even mention Bjergsen.
Yeah. Well, you know. Jeez. Okay. Well, okay. Hextech Alternator. Just adding the health, ability power down. Obviously, this makes this item worse to get inside of the jungle early on. So now people that were building Nighttroller, they don't even have a justification for this anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, Nighttroller is one of the biggest tragedies of this season, for sure, though.
I mean, they're gonna get this item for health.
Yeah. All right. Hextech Rocket Belt, Night Harvester. We're not going to talk about them. They just don't matter. And now we move into the lethality items. Okay. So Duskblade of Drakthar is down by 100 gold. And bonus AD on next basic attack against enemy champion deals, to 75 plus 30% bonus AD for melee, 55 plus 25% bonus AD for ranged, all else unchanged, okay?
Yeah, so they're just helping melee champs, basically.
They're helping melee champs.
So they're making it so like Varus doesn't build this, I guess.
Lethality Graves buff here, down by 100 gold. And cooldown for melee champions reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds, all else unchanged. That's actually just a massive buff to all the ranged champions that build Eclipse. So yeah, I mean, Jace and Graves just get a really big buff.
Yeah, I guess so.
Prowler's Claw down by 100 gold. The dash 75 plus 30% bonus. Wow, okay. They're really helping melee assassins. Yep. Or attempting to. But I don't think that you're going to be going Prowler's Claw, because even Kiana is going to be going for the tanky version of Kiana now, because it's just outright better.
Probably, yeah.
Youmuu's Ghostblade is up by 100 gold, though.
Not a big fan of Youmuu's.
Yeah, I'm not either. It's a solo queue. It's a solo queue only thing.
Please don't first build. By the way, wait. I see every single Graves I have in jungle. First build Youmuu's Ghostblade. Please stop. I beg of you. Please build Eclipse into Lord Doms. Or Collector if you're feeling a bit base, you can go Collector as well.
Okay. All right. Well, first strike. That's your first strike actually of this rundown. So this is the new rune. Basic attacks are abilities against an enemy champion with 0.25 seconds of entering champion combat grants 5 gold and first strike for 3 seconds, causing you to deal 10% extra damage against champions, and granting 100%, 70% for ranged champions of bonus damage dealt as gold. 25 to 15 second cooldown, levels 1 to 18. If an enemy strikes you first, the first strike still goes on cooldown without providing any of its bonuses. Ooh, okay.
So this is like
I feel like this is a huge buff to Kayle.
Do you think Kayle is always striking? I mean, she's not necessarily. Do you really think so?
I think she's I think that she's striking. Well, okay. I think that old Kayle used to go kleptomancy, and that modern Kayle is probably going to hit you first enough times to make it akin to klepto. Yeah.
I mean, this obviously depends on matchup, I guess, but is it
Caitlyn
actually giving that much gold? Because as Kayle, for example, 1 to 6, you eat someone, you're not trading after. You know, I mean, it's pretty rare, at least. So it's like you have to hit them after, right, to gain more gold, I think. So it's like this is more of like a champion that can outrange and get the first order, but also take a longer trade post that, I guess.
Well, MF could do it. Ashe, even.
Yeah, Ashe could, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe like Jace.
GP could, if he's using brush play.
I mean, yeah.
With parlay, because he doesn't really have a rune. But yeah, I mean, I think the item, it's going to take a while to discover all the champions that are going to be using it, and then we have to see in practicality, like, how much gold do you actually get, and what does that allow you to do? Especially combining it with something like Futures Market.
Yeah, I mean, this is in Inspiration, right? Yeah, it's rating Keystone, so we'll have to see, I guess, how much actual gold you get.
We move on now to Glacial Augment. So, basic attacks on hit periodically slow enemy champions. To immobilizing an enemy champion will cause 3 glacial rays to emanate from them towards you and other nearby champions, creating frozen lines for a few seconds that slow enemies for 35% plus 5% per 100 heal and shield power plus 2% per 100 AP plus 2% per 100 bonus AD, and reduce their damage by 15% against your allies, not including yourself. The frozen lines for okay. I mean, it's obviously just a huge buff to Glacial Augment.
I mean, this is like a support item or what?
It's a support rune for sure, yeah. Because you have to immobilize the enemy champion now.
Yeah, you have to immobilize the enemy champion, and it's
so
against
it's the
your allies.
offensive version of Aftershock when you don't actually need the tanky stats.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they will take it over Aftershock, but it looks interesting.
Okay.
We'll have to see.
And then this is the last change. Okay, Lethal Tempo. So Lethal Tempo is changed completely, and now it is gain 15% for melee, 5% for ranged attack speed for 6 seconds when striking at least one enemy champion with each auto attack. Okay. This effect stacks up to 6 times. While it's at the cap, you also gain 50 for melee, 100 for ranged attack range, and increase your attack speed cap from 2.5 to 10.
Isn't this item like?
Are back.
Isn't this item like not balanced? I mean, this Keystone. Sorry?
I can't imagine how this is ever balanced on something like Kog'Maw or Jinx or Twitch or like what?
Yeah.
This is like a helper item beyond words. This is insane.
I mean, but this is also just like a top lane. I mean, it's also just like a melee all-in item as well. It's just a better conqueror.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. Jhin has a modifier based on his attack speed, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So what does he get if his attack speed just goes through the roof?
I mean, this is also. I mean, this is. Yeah, I don't know.
This is really.
I mean,
scary,
to be fair, you gain.
Broken, yeah.
I mean, you gain a lot less attack speed as ranged. To be fair, so you get 15% for melee and 5% for ranged. But, I mean, it looks like it might just be a top lane rune as well. Like, I think like the champions that go Conqueror, I don't see why they'd go Conqueror the Tempo. No, Lethal Tempo, like Jax and like I mean, Kayle probably goes this item, I guess now.
Yep.
I mean, this is Keystone. Sorry.
Kayle could definitely go this side. Yeah, I mean, this or First Strike, but
Aurelia
Tempo actually just looks way too broken. Aurelia, yeah. I mean, speaking of broken, you know, it's probably she might be the only thing that could break a Nokia phone. But you know, some things they come and go. But okay, that is actually it for all of the balance changes. I do want to comment on how Riot are showing that they do care about Arcane. Caitlyn, Jason, Jinx getting updates, obviously.
They're
because-
showing that they care about Arcane.
Which means Victor buffs incoming, singed, visual gameplay update maybe at some point. Echo gonna get, well, maybe not. I don't know. You know, like we got a lot of things coming our way.
Yeah. Great show by the way, man. Good job on
It is.
Arcane, guys.
All chat continues to
Remove
be
all chat.
disabled. Yep, I am a fan of this.
No!
I am a fan of this. I think all
I
chat
can't
is...
shit talk my NA solo queue for my friends.
Yep.
No, I'm joking.
End of season rewards. Make sure to get those, or congratulations on getting them once you saw this video go live. Ixtal Clash. So, as I mentioned, I think in the last video, as well as if you are a patron or on Twitter, last patch, there was basically no changes whatsoever, so there was no updates to the patron solo queue and Clash tier lists. But they will be updated. The Mobalytics, you know, patron Clash tier lists will be updated this patch. They will be posted probably a few days after this video goes live, and that is pretty much it. Fudge, how much do you think the meta is going to actually change because of the changes in this patch?
I can see people trying out way more tanks. I'm not sure if tanks will actually be really good because of this. I assume supports.
I could see
tank
Ornn
supports
with that tank item. I could see Tank Taric maybe being testable.
I mean, I can see tank supports actually being a lot better. Just because there's so many like different like the Abyssal Mask thing plus the Mythic.
Right.
So it's interesting. I mean, I think it's mainly targeted as tanks. It looks like. I mean, I guess they also made the lethality changes. I think are pretty good for range champions in general. Helps Graves again.
Yep. But no one builds
so
lethality Graves, so you know. But
yes.
okay. I think that pretty much does it. So that's it for these changes. So go out, have fun with preseason, because once season 12 comes around, Fudge Factor has to be putting these to use in the mid lane as soon as the LCS lock-in tournament resumes. Thank you to you know, the leaks letting us know that Fudge Factor gonna be the mid laner for Cloud9, it seems, if those leaks are actually true. Fudge Factor,
They might
any
have
last
to be
words?
true, yes. Well, I heard that it's possible that we might get a new